What happens when the most talked about women in Utah all return with new secrets, new beginnings, and new heartbreaks? This season, the air is thicker with emotion than ever. Babies are arriving, friendships are fracturing, and more than one wife is about to make a life-changing decision. Behind the perfect Instagram grids, everything is shifting. Love stories rewritten, loyalties tested, and shocking headlines that no one saw coming. Today, we're diving into fresh updates on every single member of the secret lives of Mormon wives. And trust me, some of these twists will leave you absolutely speechless. Whether it's career moves, confessions, or unexpected reunions, there's a little bit of everything. Joy, heartbreak, and a few jaw-droppers in between. So grab your popcorn, fam, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell, because these new updates are just the beginning. Taylor Frankie Paul is standing in the eye of the storm and smiling. In September 2025, she's announced as ABC's next Bachelorette, a first for the franchise, a lead chosen from outside Bachelor Nation, and she owns the moment with the kind of calm that only comes after a year of fire. She talks about wanting something real on national television while still carrying the identity that made her famous, a digital native mom from Utah whose life has unfolded in public, mess, and miracles side by side. The past 12 months move like chapters you can feel. On December 31, 2024, she looks straight into the camera and calls the year the worst of my life, a raw confession that lands with weight after postpartum struggles and relentless headlines. 3 weeks later, on January 2025, she confirms in a candid Instagram Q&A that she and Dakota Mortensen have split. She doesn't pretend it's easy. She says she cries every day, and then, in the same breath, offers coping advice to followers who are hurting too. The tone is tender, like someone opening a window in a crowded room. What doesn't break is the family center of her story. She and Dakota continue to co-parent their son, Ever True, born March 19, 2024, while Taylor navigates first-time dating as a 30-something mom. In March 2025, she posts a sunlit birthday tribute for Ever's first birthday, the kind of simple, tactile detail that sticks, cake crumbs on tiny fingers, the way he leans into her shoulder. She's also a mother to Indy and Ocean from her previous marriage, and when she talks about blending our family, it's equal parts aspiration and practice, school pickups, shared schedules, the small choreography of modern parenthood. By spring and early summer 2025, her world widens again on screen. Season 2 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives pushes her in. Then comes September 10, 2025. The announcement lands on a major podcast and morning TV the same day, and suddenly Taylor is talking about deal breakers and green flags while fielding questions about a past that won't stop following her. She doesn't duck it. She says plainly that the relationship with Dakota is over. She admits they slipped back into old habits after the breakup. She talks about therapy and accountability and the work it takes to restart your life without rewriting it. The media rounds blur together, studio lights, velvet couches, that quick intake of breath before the first question, but her answers stay consistent. She wants a partner who can handle the real version of her, kids and controversy included. In the warm glow of rehearsal lights, Whitney Leavitt steps onto the ballroom floor of Dancing with the Stars, heart pounding, heels clicking against polished wood, and for a moment, the chatter in the wings fades away. It's early October 2025, and the audience watches as she wraps herself in gratitude, a public moment of humility and ambition. With a gentle breath, she sends thanks to every cheer, every late-night practice, every misstep turned into a lesson. Through every step, every rehearsal, and every breakdown I've had, thank you, she shares on Instagram, her voice steady, eyes shining. A new chapter is unfolding, where the spotlight glints not just on her movement, but on her evolution. Backstage, the excitement collides with surprise when Whitney and her professional partner Mark Ballas must abruptly cancel a fan giveaway. Announced via TikTok, the plan to fly fans to a live taping is pulled when network rules step in. Mark quietly states, "This has come directly from ABC and BBC," while Whitney frames it as, "Bad news. We'll find another way to show our appreciation." From the fans' anticipatory chatter to singers refraining. During an exclusive sit-down with People, Whitney opens up about her Season 1 journey with the secret lives of Mormon wives. She speaks of the hard conversations she chose to have, moments where she stepped into vulnerability in a cast and community quick to label her. Demi Engemann backs her up. "We were so quick to just shun her. Lesson learned." Now, Whitney returns to the circle, blinking into the bright lights of Season 2, resolute in reshaping the story she tells. And then there's the love story unfolding, often overshadowed by reality TV drama, but alive with texture and truth. In late April, Whitney and husband Connor Leavitt address whisperings of a lavender marriage with humor and clarity. A 14-second TikTok shows them dancing and kissing, captioned, "Proof this isn't a lavender marriage," and Whitney tells People that the clip is their answer. "We're real, we're messy, and this is us." Their Season 1 arc, Connor's turbulent admission of pornography use and a swirl of soft-swinging scandal, felt less like entertainment and more like therapy in neon lights. Now they stand together in front of cameras, choosing to reclaim their narrative. Then the ballroom elimination night arrives. On October 28th, Jen Affleck is sent home, and Whitney's reaction, captured for People the next day, is heartfelt. "It sucks because all of us work so hard to be here. She worked so hard. I loved her dance tonight." There are no dramatic flashes, no televised feuds, just a pause of compassion under the harsh glare of competitive reality television. The press, meanwhile, quickens with rumors of tension between Whitney and Jen, but Whitney's words cut through the noise, simple and sincere. What emerges through these moments is a portrait of Whitney Leavitt not as a one-dimensional reality persona, but as a woman balancing ambition with authenticity. She is twirling under spotlight and shadow, negotiating the space between national primetime and the private heartbeat of marriage, family, faith, and self. The ballroom, the social feed, the interview couch, these are all different rooms in the same house she's building. A house with glass walls, yes, but filled with the sound of her own voice, owning her story in real time. For fans following her from Utah sets to Hollywood stages, the thrill isn't just in the steps she takes, but in the steps she chooses not to take, the silence she allows, the apology she offers, not just to others, but to herself. In the next spin, next camera cut, next interview, Whitney is inviting all of us to watch someone in motion, imperfect, determined, luminous. Over the past year, Jennifer Affleck, known to many from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, has quietly entered a new chapter of her life, one filled with heartbeats and dance floors, family moves, and self-reflection. Her social media tells the story of a mother, a wife, a reality star navigating significant change while still grounded in relationships that matter. In early 2025, Jen and her husband Zach welcomed their third child, a daughter named Penelope Phyllis Affleck, born on July 2nd. Jen shares that the birth was unmedicated, and she writes candidly, "Baby Penelope is here, and she is perfect. Going unmedicated was truly the most painful but empowering experience of my life." In her calm, soft voice, she lets us feel the moment, the ache, the triumph, the quiet newness, and the hush of late nights with a newborn in the air. Just 2 months later, she's stepping into the bright lights of Dancing with the Stars. In September and into October, Jen reveals the raw truth. Her body is still recovering from childbirth. She tells a magazine, "My body hurts. I'm still recovering from giving birth, but I'm having so much fun, and I'm doing it for my kids." You can almost feel the tension. A new baby in one arm, dance rehearsals in the other, the studio mirror reflecting both vulnerability and ambition. Yet for Jen, the show isn't just about competition. It becomes therapy, a thread through postpartum fog, a way to reclaim movement and joy. She calls the experience everything. In the heat of competition, viewers notice a subtle ripple. After her elimination, Jen goes live on her Instagram, and when asked who she's rooting for, she cryptically notes a former Mom Talk castmate but won't name names. She's clearly aware of underlying tensions, especially when a headline surfaces about her husband Zach defending himself from critics who mocked his reaction to her exit. He fired back, "You're honestly disgusting. Grow up." Suddenly, we see another side of Jen's life, the scrutiny, the fandom pressure, the family arena behind the cameras. Through it all, Jen is grounded in gratitude. In early October, she posts a love note to Zach. "He's the one who checks that I've actually eaten breakfast, reminds me to sleep, cooking, cleaning, kid duty, and those late-night shifts with Penny." There's tenderness here, the kind you feel when someone sees the bolts and screws behind the glamour and still says thank you. For Jen, this is more than a show. It's a lived story about balancing ambition and motherhood, partnership and identity. And then the next big move home. Later in the year, it's revealed that Jen, Zach, and their children, Nora, Lucas, and baby Penelope, are relocating to Los Angeles. Think of the kids' excitement, their little fingers pointing out palm trees through the airport windows, the family swapping regional day-to-day for LA energy. In the announcement, Jen jokes about her dance partner Jan Ravnik moving in next door and even helping with babysitting. The move feels symbolic, as though the broadcast lights and fan chatter were only one piece, and now she's anchoring the story in a new physical space, ready for the next arc. Before all this, she takes a retreat while pregnant, 11 days of yoga, counseling, equine therapy, and painting. In her own words, "Not the pregnancy journey I expected, but definitely what baby and I needed." That moment becomes the springboard to the rest of the year, a healing mother, a woman recognizing she needs rest, space, and emotional work. It's not just glitz, it's growth. What does all this mean for fans? We're seeing Jen Affleck evolve from a reality TV persona into someone living real milestones, a third child, a major career pivot, a family move, and the quiet work behind the scenes. She's navigating postpartum recovery, creative reinvention, and an entire family uprooting, all while keeping her voice gentle, her posts real, her gratitude vivid. This year isn't about big scandals or dramatic breakdowns, it's about subtle reconstruction. It's about the hum of daily life, feeding a baby at dawn, mastering a dance routine under lights, signing the lease on a new home, and whispering to the mirror, "Yes, I can keep going." For fans who have followed Jen's journey from SLMW to DWTS to motherhood again, her latest chapter feels intimate, raw, and inspiring. She's still in the spotlight, but these updates show us she's holding something even more luminous, a life deliberately lived, not just filmed. Jessi Naticacora's world has been anything but quiet this year. The breakout star of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives steps into 2025 with the kind of spotlight few could imagine, balancing motherhood, marriage, and the chaos of reality TV fame with a mix of grace and grit that keeps fans both protective and endlessly curious. It's May when everything explodes again. The season 2 finale drops, and suddenly Jessi finds herself at the center of a media storm. A fellow reality TV personality, Marciano Brunet from Vanderpump Villa, claims the two had a fling. The headlines swirl overnight, and social media lights up with speculation. But Jessi stays quiet, mostly. She posts a cryptic Instagram reel mouthing the words, "Me and my truth, we sit in silence," paired with a caption that reads, "I'll speak when I can." It's both a promise and a warning, sparking a wave of support from her castmates and loyal fans who rally to her defense. Just days before the chaos, her husband, Jordan Gatikawara, shares a heartfelt Mother's Day tribute. In it, he writes, "Through all of life's ups and downs, I still choose you. I still love you every single day." It's tender, almost painfully so, and the timing couldn't be more dramatic. Because when Jessi appears in press interviews later that week, she's no longer wearing her wedding ring. Asked about their relationship, she simply says it's a little tricky right now. That line becomes the quote of the month, fueling endless conversation about whether the two are still together. Then come the podcast rounds. On the Vile Files, Jessi opens up, carefully but candidly. She doesn't confirm a breakup, but she doesn't deny the tension either. Reality TV is hard on any relationship, she admits, her voice soft but steady. We're working through things. Asked if her husband is a good role model for their daughter, she hesitates, then says simply, no. It's a raw moment, one that turns a gossip headline into something heartbreakingly human. Through it all, Jessi manages to keep her entrepreneurial side thriving. Her Jay-Z Styles brand remains a social media powerhouse, and she continues to share glimpses of her day-to-day life, a mix of mom moments, beauty partnerships, and renovation projects. In one reel from October, she walks viewers through her for now home, laughing about unfinished cabinets and toddler toys scattered across the floor. Things aren't quite done yet, she says with a smile, her tone more settled than in months past. It feels like a quiet reset, a return to normalcy after so much noise. But Jessi doesn't shy away from confrontation either. Over the summer, she addresses rumors about her appearance head-on, revealing that she'd undergone a minor under-eye skin pinch procedure. When critics accuse her of chasing unrealistic beauty standards, she claps back with confidence. This is about me feeling refreshed and confident, not changing who I am. It's one of many moments that show how she's reclaiming her narrative on her own terms. By fall, she seems to be finding balance again. Page 6 names her one of its Virtual Reality Tea Award honorees, celebrating her as a boss babe in the influencer world. She's even spotted mentoring Taylor Frankie Paul, another headline-making Mormon influencer, ahead of a new TV venture. It's clear that whatever turbulence she's faced, Jessi has learned how to steer the storm instead of getting swept up in it. As 2025 closes out, she stands as one of the most talked about women in reality TV, not because of scandal alone, but because she continues to evolve in front of everyone's eyes. Jessi Naticora isn't just surviving the spotlight, she's mastering it, one vulnerable, unapologetic post at a time. In the past year, Demi Engemann is stepping out from the shadows and into the spotlight of her own story. We find her standing beside her husband, Brett Engemann, with a glimmer of resilience that seems stronger than ever. The arc of her journey has been deeply personal, tenderly raw, and entirely unfiltered, as she pushes back against the narrative that once painted her as the villain. When she posts a single sentence, "The truth will reveal itself," her voice sounds measured, firm. She's inviting us to listen close. Behind the glossy social media frames lies a marriage that's weathering more than just attention. Demi acknowledges the whispers that surround her, the rumors that have tethered themselves to her name, and the contract-driven fractures within her mom talk world. In an Instagram reel, she describes how she and Brett are obsessed with each other, but the obsession now carries a different weight. It's less about daytime glitz and more about quiet, late-night conversations and the low hum of therapy rooms. She says they've been working through their challenges, enjoying brushes of normalcy, walks at dusk, a shared cup of coffee on the patio, while the cameras still churn in the distance. As the trailer for Season 3 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives drops, Demi's posture is unmistakable. She is no longer merely the story's punching bag. The footage emphasizes her feud lines with teammates and the crystallizing contract dispute as the tension that defines her season. But even as the world watches her conflict, we also hear Demi's voice in interviews, saying with calm clarity that she is choosing honesty over spectacle. She acknowledges hard conversations, admits she's not always the hero in her own story, but also claims she won't be defined by the rumors, infidelity included. She states, "The truth will reveal itself," and this time, we sense it's a promise rather than a teaser. Inside the cast dynamics, the vibes have shifted. Jessi Naticora makes clear she'll never be friends with Demi again, calling the shifts unforgivable, anchoring public perception that the group as once imagined is unraveling. In the tidal pull of alliances and betrayals, Demi's decision to skip the season 2 reunion becomes a defining moment. Not just her absence on a couch, but the declaration that she's refusing to sit down at a table she believes is scripted. And yet, amidst the dust of conflict, one loyal voice emerges, Whitney Leavitt. She defends Demi, calling her a scapegoat, while also acknowledging the complexity of the moment. Demi's circle is smaller now, but more candid. In a quiet, tender Instagram post, Demi reveals the threads of her daily life flicker with hope. She and Brett still hold hands before sunrise, headlights off, the street hum quiet, sharing a beat of simplicity before daybreak. It's a small moment, yes, but in the context of contract drama and reality TV chaos, it's bold. She says they've faced serious challenges, even discussed the word divorce, but chose to stay, not because of the cameras, but because of something deeper, a commitment to their story. Now, as season 3 looms, the imagery shifts. The polished trailer becomes less about fashion and more about fault lines, less about couples and more about fractured alliances waiting to heal or break entirely. Demi steps into this inception point as both protagonist and critic of her own narrative. She is inviting us not to judge, but to watch, to listen, to sense the heartbeat beneath the drama, and maybe, finally, to understand that what we see on screen is only part of what's real. In the echo of her voice, clear, layered, and resolute, we hear this: Demi Engemann is no longer allowing the story to be written for her. She is writing it alongside us. Macy Neeley's past year feels like a turning point, one that blends healing, motherhood, and reinvention into a story that's both deeply personal and universally moving. When she first shared that she was expecting her third child with husband Jacob, fans of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives erupted with excitement. The announcement wasn't just another family milestone, it was the culmination of years of fertility challenges and emotional rebuilding. In her February post, she beamed, "Baby number 3 is on the way, and we couldn't be happier." And it showed. Every update after that felt like watching someone reclaim their peace, one small joy at a time. As her pregnancy progressed, Macy opened up about the long road that led her here. In June, she posted a heartfelt video chronicling her IVF journey from 2022 through 2025, a raw and beautifully edited glimpse into the perseverance behind her calm smile. Her caption said it all: "Our IVF journey from February 2022 to June 2025. It wasn't just a milestone, it was the quiet close of a chapter filled with heartache, needles, and waiting." Fans flooded the comments, thanking her for turning something so vulnerable into something hopeful. By the end of June, Macy was in full nesting mode. Her 35-week check-in captured the familiar mix of exhaustion and excitement that defines late pregnancy. "Can't believe we're getting so close," she wrote, laughing about hospital bags and late-night cravings. When July rolled around, she gave followers a peek into the finished nursery: soft neutrals, natural textures, and that signature Macy touch that feels equal parts cozy and curated. Her caption hinted at what everyone was waiting for: "The nursery is done. Baby girl, we're ready for you." Then, on July 26th, the moment arrived. "Our girl is here, and our hearts are so full." With those words, Macy introduced her daughter to the world, sharing tender hospital photos with Jacob and their 2 older kids, Hudson and Harlow. 5 days later, she revealed the name Charlie May, complete with an adorable newborn portrait that instantly melted hearts. Fans praised her for the name's soft vintage charm, and in typical Macy fashion, she responded with humility and warmth. Just a few weeks later, she shifted gears again, this time from motherhood to authorship. In August, she revealed she'd been recording the audiobook for her memoir, Told You So, a project that's been in the making for years. The transition from diaper changes to book tours might seem like a leap, but for Macy, it's all part of the same story: survival, faith, and redefining strength on her own terms. The book's release sparked a wave of press appearances, from Entertainment Tonight and Page Six to a deeply moving sit-down with Oprah Daily. Across every interview, her message stayed grounded. Healing isn't about erasing the past, it's about learning to live beside it. She presses a hand gently over her growing belly, the soft summer light catching tendrils of her hair. Just months ago, Michaela Matthews, fresh from her surprise announcement that she was expecting baby number 4, is living a chapter of transition, hope, and sweet new beginnings. She tells us, in her own calm voice, that it was definitely a surprise. We were not planning or trying. As the months pass, we watch her prepare for the arrival of little Lottie June, born July 17, 2025, a moment captured in tender photographs and her own Instagram story, shared with husband Jace and their 3 older children. From the quieter, emotional turns to the everyday chaos of a family of 6, Michaela opens a rare window. She narrates her birth story with vivid clarity, delivering in the shower, catching her baby's head, calling it crazy and intense and painful, yet so perfect. All of it framed not just as a milestone for her family, but as a moment of personal triumph. The arrival of Lottie June brings not only a new name and a new face, but a fresh rhythm to her household, where backpacks and tiny socks mingle with simultaneously brewing coffee. In the glow of early motherhood again, Michaela shares reels of first date nights with Jace, late-night whispers with an infant sleeping beside her, and the unfiltered reality of postpartum life. There's a scene where she holds Lottie close, sharing her gratitude with fans. 1 month with our Lottie girl, she's already changed us. The tone is soft, the vulnerability real, the connection immediate. But life doesn't stop at baby bottles. Michaela is also processing deeper stories, anchored in years of hidden struggle. In candid interviews, she reveals that she endured sexual abuse from age 10 to 15 and only recently began speaking the truth aloud. She ties this trauma to her health journey, how irregular periods, chronic pain, and emotional bruises collided until she decided the silence had to end. In one interview, she quotes, "People tell me, maybe this baby's going to heal you." It's not a promise, it's a recognition that healing is slow, and motherhood is both gift and mirror. Through all this, a comforting thread emerges: friendship. In a pastel-lit video, we witness Michaela and fellow star Macy Neeley, their daughters Lottie and Charlie, meeting for the first time. Born just days apart, the 2 babies reflect the routine heart of the women who birthed them: best friends, co-stars, co-journeyers. They laugh, they hug, they marvel that those tiny fingers belong to a world that only yesterday seemed unreachable. For viewers of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Michaela's arc in the past year isn't just a story about a new baby. It's about shedding feathers from old wounds, stepping into full rooms of possibility, and embracing life's surprise intersections. She invites us behind the curtains: the tears when she confesses her truth, the laughter at charmed chaos when Dad tries to calm the toddler, the hush of midnight when she looks at her newborn and whispers, "I never knew you'd make everything feel possible again." In the middle of growth and reckoning, Michaela Matthews stands present, grounded in family, transparent about pain, and open to joy. She doesn't promise that everything's perfect. Instead, she offers something deeper: the ongoing story of a woman choosing to move forward, choosing to receive love, choosing to give love, and choosing to let her newest daughter and the baby steps of healing lead the way. Over the past year, Llaya Taylor finds herself navigating a rich tapestry of transformation and visibility, and she's doing it with both courage and curiosity. As the youngest cast member of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Llaya steps into the spotlight not just as a television personality, but as a young mother, cultural bridge, and emerging voice in her own right. Through social media, interviews, and public appearances, she's begun weaving her own. In the autumn of 2025, Llaya shares a deeply personal reel on Instagram, a sunlit sequence of mornings with her two little boys, tender coffee shop confessions, and quiet sidebar reflections. She says, "I'm embracing vulnerability. This season is about authenticity." That simple line echoes a larger shift. No longer just the girl in the group dating or dancing at cast trips, she's now the mother, the introspective soul, the woman asking big questions about worth, identity, and visibility. That desire for authenticity runs through her recent interviews. In a conversation with Teen Vogue in May, Llaya opens the door on her past: a teenage conversion to the LDS Church, being married with two kids by age 21, and then walking away from a relationship she recognized as toxic. "Since I'm divorced at 24 with two kids, probably not," she jokes about the idealized Mormon timeline. Her laughter betrays nothing of bitterness. Rather, it hints at a woman. By July, Llaya is speaking publicly about one of the more fraught chapters no reality star wants: public commentary on weight and image. Between the lens of her own journey and the show's dramatic table turns, Llaya's romantic life also moves into the spotlight. During press for season 2, media outlets report that even though viewers will see her with a boyfriend on screen, by May, she is single again. She says she intentionally selected a partner who could navigate co-parenting as thoughtfully as she was trying to. Then, months later, an Instagram post with Macy McWhorter, a mutual cast circle acquaintance, sparks a round of fan speculation. Llaya teases in a caption that she made fans search for the photo, highlighting how social visibility is part of her current dance: being seen, being speculated about, and saying little while the fandom fills in the blanks. Miranda McWhorter is stepping back into the spotlight with a mix of grace, grit, and quiet determination. After months of silence, she's finally ready to tell her story her way. It's been a transformative year for the once private influencer who reemerged on Hulu's The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, not just as a cast member, but as a woman reclaiming her narrative after one of the internet's most talked about scandals. Viewers remember the whispers of mom talk and so-called soft swinging, but Miranda isn't hiding from it anymore. She's facing it head-on, speaking in her own voice and offering a raw, human perspective on what really happened behind those closed doors. In May 2025, Miranda sat down for an emotional interview on The Vial Files, marking her first in-depth public conversation about the controversy. She talks candidly about how the events of 2022 reshaped her entire life: her marriage to Chase, her friendships with women like Taylor Frankie Paul, and her faith in the LDS Church. Her tone isn't defensive, it's reflective. "Let's get my side of the story," she says, leaning forward, eyes steady on the camera. Not everyone will come out and admit their part, and that's okay. The interview isn't about blame. It's about closure, healing, and showing that redemption can look messy before it looks beautiful. Her new chapter is as a single mom, raising her sons Brooks and Cohen with a calm focus that contrasts the chaos of her past. She tells People magazine she's not dating, that this season of life is about rebuilding her confidence and creating stability for her kids. The move toward independence has made her relatable again. Fans flood her Instagram comments with messages like, "You're glowing again," and "So proud of how far you've come." Miranda shares glimpses of cozy mornings making pancakes, late-night dance sessions with her boys, and quiet reflections about forgiveness. The once tabloid-targeted influencer now feels more like a close friend finding her way back home. This Secret Lives of Mormon Wives premiered its second season in May. Miranda's arrival changed everything. She's framed as the newbie, but her presence carries history and unfinished business. Old tensions resurface, awkward reunions play out, and Miranda's honesty reignites questions the internet never stopped asking. She doesn't shy away from it. She walks straight into the storm, bringing her calm candor and sense of humor with her. By the time the reunion episode airs, hosted by Nick Viall, she's no longer the quiet one in the background. She's fully owning the narrative that others once told for her. Beyond the show, Miranda continues to navigate co-parenting with her ex-husband Chase. On Father's Day, she joins fellow castmates Llaya Taylor and Kate Racker in a tongue-in-cheek TikTok, playfully lip-syncing to a line about being the hot ex. It's witty, a little spicy, and unmistakably confident, the kind of humor that signals she's done apologizing for simply living her life. Beneath the jokes, though, there's a thread of strength and self-awareness. Miranda seems to understand that laughter, at this stage, is part of healing too. Professionally, she's turning her experiences into something meaningful. Her podcast appearances and influencer collaborations are rooted in authenticity, discussing motherhood, boundaries, and the blurred line between faith and fame. On Instagram, her captions read like diary entries, where lessons learned are shared without pretense. She's not trying to reclaim perfection, she's embracing imperfection as the real story worth telling. In just a year, Miranda McWhorter has gone from silence to spotlight, from speculation to self-possession. The woman fans see now isn't the same one caught in a storm of rumors 2 years ago. She's wiser, more grounded, and far more comfortable in her own skin. Whether she's speaking on a podcast, laughing with her boys, or walking into yet another on-camera confrontation, Miranda radiates the quiet power of someone who's been through the fire and decided to keep shining anyway.